Hey everyone, it's Michael from Stocks Toolbox, and I wanted to show you my workflow for identifying setups. In this video, we'll look at how I develop my directional bias for the next day, and how I compile and narrow down a prospect list of symbols. Starting with index insights often gives me an informative directional nudge. Let's take a look at this tool set by choosing Daily Reports from the top menu, and then Index Insights. All of our symbols are part of at least one of the S&P 100, S&P 600, or the NASDAQ 100 indices. This chart area displays different perspectives for the various indices, and the toolbar above the chart has buttons, 8 buttons, for different chart views. The 4 buttons on the right have a similar purpose. They're all rate of change measures of 1, 3, 10, and 60-day lookbacks. The color and size of the bars represent the projected direction and size of the move. Of course, there's no guarantee these will be correct the next day, but this is a game about the aggregation of marginal gains and searching for tiny improvements in everything we do. We're trying to stack up as many little edges as we can before we place trades. The data source behind these bars is the average return for all screens triggering on the stocks within the various indices. This is a showcase of stacking up a bunch of small edges. All stocks are different, but the average stock might have 20 screens triggering on a typical day, and there are about 16,000 screens triggering daily for our full list of symbols. Let's review what the screens tell us. Remember, we take kind of a Switzerland stance on which direction each screen and symbol combination performs best on, either the long side or the short side. We test 11 hold periods of different lengths in each direction, and the system displays both the best performing hold period and the more profitable direction in the opportunities table. So the average return of 16,000 triggering screens is compiled into one of these 3 bars in the chart. The bar color, red for shorts and green for longs, depicts in which direction the cumulative screens have performed best when aggregated for each index. The height of the bars depicts a relative performance rank, the tallest bar communicating that the stocks within this index had the highest average return, and the color tells us if those screens perform best from the long or from the short side. If I just want a quick assessment of what the various indices are doing, I'll view the CAR/MDD or CalMAR ratio tab and the average profit and loss percent. So for today, on October 18th, Index Insights is projecting stocks within the S&P 600 represent the most profitable opportunities, and those opportunities are short entries. The stocks within the S&P 100 represent the most profitable opportunities from the long side, but the low height of the bar suggests an average gain would be small. So depending on what slots I have open in my portfolio, I might limit the scope of my search to just symbols within the S&P 600. If I load one of my presets by clicking in the presets dropdown, I can then choose the S&P 600 in the symbol dropdown, restricting my results to just those stocks within the index. This is a good way to increase the probabilities of putting on a profitable trade. Both the sector and index insight charts have date pickers at the top, allowing you to go back in time and see what the value of the projections were. I'm going to choose yesterday's date, October 17th, and view the CalMAR ratio and the average P&L percent. Bouncing between these two, you can see that it was projecting stocks within the S&P 600 representing the best opportunities, and they would be from the short side. Stocks in the NASDAQ 100 also look like they might be good shorting opportunities. We can look at the ETFs representing these indices and see if the projections were relatively accurate. As you can see, the IJR representing the S&P 600 had a move down of about 1.9%. OEF, representing the S&P 100, had a move down of about 1.4%, and QQQ, representing the stocks within the NASDAQ 100, had a move down of about 2.3%, so the general market direction was projected correctly, but it was such a bearish day that the OEF moved down as well. Let's do a similar quick look on the Sector Insights chart. Looking at the Calmar tab and the average P&L percent slices, it looks like the energy sector was projected as the worst performer, so I'll add that to my search. Along with my preset, I'm adding the S&P 600 and specifying just short entries in the energy sector. I always want to see the number of trades the data is based on, so I'll go ahead and display that column. And as I look at these, it looks like EXTN with 71 trades might be a good short bet. My last check before adding a symbol to my prospect list is to confirm the profit and loss chart in the backtest summary. And this looks like something I'd be comfortable with. And checking the price action for EXTN on 1018, we see that it went down more than 4%. Well, that's how I get ready for the next day. Obviously, I don't get to pick stocks after the fact like I just showed you, but the process is the same. In this segment, we covered how you can use index insights and sector insights charts to help you formulate opinions on which areas of the market might be better bets, and to help you narrow your search for the next day's prospects. If this information was helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and stay in touch for more videos. And remember to stack edges in your favor. See you next time.